I always laugh when fans say the NBA is rigged. The officiating was not great yesterday, and it really favored Memphis. There's no way you would be rigging this series for Memphis, which has no history of driving TV ratings. You would not be rigging the playoffs against Steph Curry, who I think there's something to indicate he's the number one draw in the league right now from a TV perspective. I think it's not LeBron anymore. I think it's Steph. There's a little LeBron fatigue. But loud home crowds right on the referees, college and pro, I think can sway officials on 4 or 5 calls. I thought Memphis got every call and still lost. In fact, I thought 4 or 5 things happened yesterday. They all went in Memphis's favor, and they still lost. So to me, game 1 was a series. So Klay Thompson missed clanked 2 late free throws. Doesn't happen much. Draymond got ejected. He's your best defensive player, the heart and soul of the team after Steph Curry. Steph Curry missed 4 or 5 open threes down the stretch. The officiating went in Memphis's direction. And also, Jaren Jackson had 33-point and 6 threes for Memphis. I'm going to go with that's not going to happen again in the series. And Ja Morant's amazing, but he hit 4 threes. That's as many as he hit in the entire Minnesota series. So Memphis was getting all sorts of threes they don't normally get. They got officiating breaks. Draymond got ejected. Steph and Klay did things they never do. And Memphis, with a minute left, had the lead and blew it. So that felt like the series. The other thing you saw with that series, and this is where it's the difference between guys that have been in this league forever and kids. Golden State is so patient and so smart. I mean, is there ever been a team that finds the open three-point shooter more than Golden State? I mean, that ball movement is so clever. I mean, the only remarkable thing was they kept missing the threes, but God, do they move the ball? It is art. And so I thought that was a tough loss for Memphis. That's the one you got to steal. Now Golden State, I just don't see Memphis duplicating that three-point barrage, and I don't see Draymond getting ejected in multiple games down the stretch. Here was Draymond after the game talking about his ejection.
The playoffs are a little tougher and not as soft as the regular season, and that, you can bump a little more and you get away with a little more, like I think tonight was probably a reputation thing more so than a hard foul. By definition, if we go through the definition of a flagrant 2 foul, I'm not sure that play would quite be the definition of a flagrant foul. I'm not sure it would meet that criteria.
So it is a flagrant foul. I didn't feel it was a flagrant 2, which gets you ejected. But, a lot of people felt it was a go either way call. I think in the Bay Area, they don't eject him. In Memphis, they eject him. The sport's not rigged, but home crowds, the fans are on top. They sway it. It's emotional. And it was a fantastic game. The NBA playoffs have been absolutely wonderful. I want to talk about Giannis coming up, some more drafts. Yes, I don't do I don't break down the draft based on just the weekend, but I did think the Jets got an A+++. I thought that literally their first 4 picks are okay, those 4 starters. And they had a great draft last year. So I don't know if the Jets have the right quarterback or the right coach or the right owners, but Joe Douglas, the GM, you got a rock star because the last 2 drafts for the Jets have been sensational. If Zach Wilson can play, got all sorts of question marks on that. But if he can, I thought Joe Douglas crushed the draft, absolutely crushed it for the 2nd year in a row. Here's a friendly reminder from our friends at 1-800-Flowers.com that Mother's Day is just days away. Get ahead of the rush with a deal as sweet as Mom. Right now, 1-800-Flowers is giving you $25 off 2 dozen assorted roses. It's a bouquet. It's beautiful. 2 dozen roses, all sorts of bright colors. Show Mom how much you care. All roses from 1-800-Flowers. Picked at their peak. Shipped fresh overnight to ensure lasting beauty. Amazing offer. $25 off. 2 dozen assorted roses. Mother's Day Sunday. Order today. Get it taken care of. $25 off. 2 dozen assorted roses. All you have to do, Go to 1-800-Flowers.com. Put in the code HERD. This offer ends Friday. And I thought one team, from the day the Super Bowl was over until this morning, the Denver Broncos crushed it. Forget the fact that they went from Drew Lock to Russell Wilson at quarterback. How about the fact that they added Randy Gregory and D.J. Jones on the defensive line and Kwan Williams, defensive end, or got Billy Turner, a tackle from the Packers. Then they went in the draft and got Nick Bonito, excellent speed guy. So now they've got Randy Gregory, D.J. Jones, Kwan Williams, and Nick Bonito. They have totally rebuilt their defensive line to put pressure on quarterbacks. And then their third-round pick, Greg Dulcich, is a tight end from UCLA who replaces Noah Fant, who they traded to Seattle. He is, like Fant, a vertical wide receiver. He was a walk-on at UCLA. He was a wonderful player. So ask yourself, that to me is the best upgrade of any team. Super Bowl whistle ends this morning, Denver Broncos. So think about the last two Super Bowl winners, Tampa and the Rams. What were the 5 things they had? Number 1, an offensive coach. Number 2, a star quarterback. Number 3, a really intense pass rush. Denver just added that. Number 4, weapons. And number 5, one top corner. Denver now has all of those. I like Kansas City. They don't have a top corner. I like Buffalo. That franchise has a defensive head coach, and they kind of lean defense. I like San Francisco. What's their quarterback situation? The Broncos have it all. Offensive coach, star quarterback, big-time pass rush, nice weapons, and one high-end corner. And if Nathaniel Hackett can coach, that's the only question. They're off and running. In fact, what's ironic is the only weakness for Denver that I look at and I think, oh, they're not great there, is linebacker. And that was the Rams' weakness last year and the Bengals' weakness. So there's just places you need to spend your money. They always say this when you buy a house or you're redoing your house. Spend money in the kitchen and your master bath. That's where you spend your money. In the NFL, there's places to spend your money. Quarterback, weapons, pass rush, and one big-time corner. And Denver has them all. There are a lot of teams out there. I thought Seattle had a great weekend for the draft, but they spend their money on safeties. That's not where you spend your money. Chicago's got some really good pieces, but they don't spend enough money at wide receiver or offensive line. They spend it too much at safety and too much at linebacker. So there are places to absolutely spend your money. Now, people will say, oh, Denver, oh, boy, their division. Stop. There's a reason the SEC champ usually wins the national championship, and they have the hardest schedule. It hardens you. Tampa Bay won a Super Bowl in a division where the Saints had 12 wins. The Rams just won a Super Bowl in a division with Kyle Shanahan, Russell Wilson, Arizona. It doesn't hurt you. It helps you. So I thought over the course of a weekend there was one team coupled with free agency. I mean, to go from an old coach in Vic Fangio, old defensive coach, to a young offensive coach in Nathaniel Hackett, that in itself should change things. Then you go Drew Lock to Russell Wilson. Then you totally upgrade your defensive line. They already had the weapons. Then you replace Noah Fant. You already drafted Patrick Surtain, the great corner out of Alabama last year. Denver should be a Super Bowl favorite or a near favorite for the next several years. That is how you build a franchise in 1 year. And to Joy's point, that's why the NFL is so damn popular. You can literally rebuild your franchise in a year. Rams had Jeff Fisher, Jared Goff. A year later, they won 11 games. No other sport lets you do that. Baseball, it's a money sport. NBA, it's hard to get out of contracts. You make one mistake like the Lakers with Westbrook, you are trapped for years.